you still need to learn how to use the AI. Hi, digital creators. Today we have a new episode of TRIIONFT Talks, and we're gonna talk about graphic designers versus artificial intelligence. And today we have a new guest, Alice.
Hi, Daniel.
Hi, Alice. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So, Alice, you are a graphic designer with a huge experience, right? Can you a bit tell about yourself and about your experience?
Yeah, so I've been a designer for about 5 years now. I have studied at University of the Arts London and studied graphic and media design. After that, so I worked at a few design agencies. I was doing UI UX design and brand design and then digital design. And I worked for a fashion brand as a digital designer as well. And now I'm a freelance designer and I work with lots of different clients. And yeah, I really enjoy it.
The job that I do for one of my companies. That's one brilliant one.
Yeah, so I'm actually the creator of Black Corners Production logo time.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. And of course, as everybody knows, today is the time when we have a new technology, I would say, technology and even trend. So a very hyped topic, artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Before we start discussing all this, how do you feel about it in general?
I'm not gonna lie, as I think many designers at the moment, I'm slightly scared. Slightly scared because there is this question of like, will it replace us or not? And yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. I'm not gonna jump straight into it right now, but yeah, I mean, I feel okay because I feel like as designers, we're learning our whole lives. And it's okay that right now we might need to learn something new. But yeah, slightly scared for the future.
Don't you think like the artificial intelligence is not like the part which going to teach the designers of something new? It's basically kind of replacing them. And instead of learning new stuff about how to use, for example, Adobe Illustrator, people can now just press the button and it's there.
I wouldn't say that it works as easy as you described. You still need to, basically, artificial intelligence hasn't replaced like all the processes at the moment. There is still like a lot of the human input involved, and also you have to also kind of like learn how to use the AI tools. It's the ChatGPT and the even the tools that are like new in Adobe right now that are AI like powered, still like you have to learn a little bit how to use them. So it's not that straightforward just yet.
Okay. I thought you wanted to add something else, but don't worry. Yeah, sure. Before we switch to the negative sides or sad part of the artificial intelligence for the graphic designers, I would like to ask, is there basically, what are the benefits which AI can bring to the graphic designers? As you said, you still need to learn, but maybe there are some processes which are more optimized, or you can like create something faster, get inspiration faster from the AI. So how that works in general for the graphic design?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, like you can get some inspiration from it. You can see like what kind of like options do you have like for a certain design like deliverable that you want to create, or like for example some processes are more like faster now thanks to AI. Saying like with Photoshop, for example, like the quick selection tool.
Yeah.
Right now it's like much easier to use it, and even like before all of this trend of AI. For example, if you went to Photoshop, like there were already some tools like the content aware tool and like the
neural filters as well for the skin retouch on the face.
Yeah, and then what's it called? Like the clone stamp tool.
Okay.
They're also kind of like AI.
It's powered by AI as well. Okay.
And the interesting thing is that like before the creation of Adobe, the graphic design job was more manual and it was more like, so they were created in the 90s basically. And before that, the job was more manual, it was more like complex. And when the Adobe programs were introduced, people were also kind of scared. They were scared that they're going to lose their jobs because, well, we have the apps now, like what are we going to do?
Okay.
But as you can see, like it didn't turn out like this. The tools have just like made our lives, like our jobs, a bit easier and gave us even more opportunities for creativity.
Okay, and if we speak about the complex tasks, as you mentioned, basically, can it be like kind of done with you with the AI, or it's more like AI can help you with the only simple stuff? If we speak about, I don't know what might be like the hardest, but let's say we need to develop the huge e-commerce website. We need to develop UI and UX for that. Can AI be used for that?
I'm not really sure like if it can do that at the moment, but I think technically yes, because UI and UX design is very much based around design systems. And I think with AI, it's quite possible to create these. So yeah, UI and UX design, yes, but like in terms of like the whole website and how to optimize it, I'm not quite sure like if it can do something like this just yet.
Okay, I saw some articles where people were describing how they're using, for example, like ChatGPT for the basic code of the website, then something else for the UI part, then Midjourney for the inspiration of the UI part, and like, is it true that like if you use few different AIs, you basically can build something huge? I mean, it might be. You still need to tweak it. It can't be without human yet. Maybe.
Exactly. I think if you, again, like you need to learn how to use them a little bit and like see what you can do and think of how can you use these apps or these tools in your own project. But yes, exactly. Like if you combine a few different tools, it can definitely help you a lot in building any project.
If we look at the future a bit, because you said very interesting thing, you still need to learn how to use the AI. But I believe that AI was made to let people not learn, to just let people plug and play, press, and it's there. Don't you think like in future, when AI will evolve to the level when you really don't need to know how to use it, you just like, you send your request, give me, I don't know, create the layout of the landing page with this colors, with this blocks, and it's done. Don't you think it's industry shaker for the graphic designers? So like, is it not something where you should be kind of scared?
Yes, definitely. I think that, well, in my opinion, maybe it's gonna, if not fully replace, but like mostly replace the graphic design industry. In my opinion, maybe it's a bit naive, but I think it's an.
I ready to see some tears on your eyes every.
Exactly. Maybe in around like 20 years, because You think it's bullshit?
No, like 1 year, I believe, and then it's done.
No, it's. Come on, you think so? Here's the thing. People who think that graphic design can be so easily replaced by AI, you're missing a point. Graphic designers are not hired just because they can, they have a skill. It's also the thinking. So a good designer is, first of all, a problem solver, someone who can really like look at your brand and find the right solutions for it.
So it's creativity process, like from the human.
Yes, it's good designers are hired because of their brains, and because skill is important. But I would even say that it's not that important. Even at university, we weren't taught exactly like how to do a certain thing, but we were more taught about how to think about a certain how to approach it, how to create concepts, how to, if you're a client and you come to me and say, I want a rebrand, I might say like, you don't even need a rebrand because you need this and that. You need like, I don't know, a campaign or something. So designers, they don't just have a skill. And I think AI can replace certain graphic design jobs, but if they're more like easy and straightforward, like, oh, just create a logo for me. But, you know, you can go to Fiverr and get a logo for like $5, $15. But if you want a good designer who has like the thinking, then AI is just not going to do that for you just yet. There needs to be like more powerful tools and, you know, to replace us. That's why I think it needs a lot more time.
Okay, and then we go back to the creativity process. Like when you are at the early stage, for example, you have a client and you are planning what's going to be done, like what kind of, let's say, logotype. You're creating a logotype for the client and you are planning what's going to be, how it's going to look. So how artificial intelligence affect this creative process? Like, it's not about like it's replacing, but in general, is that helps you, or maybe it's something what you like never use because you think that you are, as a real human designer, can bring your like signature designs there and style. So how the early stage works with the AI?
I think it really depends on designers. It's a preference thing, really. But I think it can definitely help in early stages. Like you said, with inspiration and just like understand what can you do, like the crazy options and not so crazy options of what can you do with a certain brief. But for a fact, I know that right now, like AI cannot like replace also like the style of it. There's like specific style, maybe that's the designer's working, it's just not quite there yet. But yeah, going back to the question, yeah, it can definitely help you in early stages. And you can also, for example, like show some iterations to the client, like some options that you can create for them on the early stages, so that you can take like an option that they like the most and then refine it.
Okay.
So yeah, just instead of making like 10 options at first, you can use AI and then select an option that they like the most and then refine it, basically.
Okay. AI, as I know, it's not basically creating something unique. It's taking the information from something what's done. And I heard that basically there's a lot of discussions about that designers, not only designers like 3D design, not only graphic designers, but as well 3D designers, they complain that basically, let's say if I'm not a graphic designer and I want to create logotype for myself, I can write a request on Google and take inspiration from there.
Yeah.
I can take maybe some parts of other logotypes and create my own. But this is not... Basically, this is against the copyright because I'm using someone else's designs. So same story with AI. AI is using someone's ready assets, and but you can't really control.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Like, should designers complain about that? Because if we imagine the situation, you are the only designer in the world. There's no others. And you're doing your job great. You have a lot of successful projects. And now we have an AI. And basically, this AI will get the assets and inspiration from what you did and will generate something new for people like me who are not creating the designs from your content. But it's still not your content. It's made from your content. It's tweaked. It's recreated in a way that you can't really say, okay, you did, Alice did it, but still, you as the owner of the designs, you will always recognize, okay, there is something mine. So how you think that part gonna work with the copyrights in the future? Not in like a very future, it's very in a close future. Because really and truly, you never know, but you did a lot of projects, and maybe when people were generating the logotypes, there was something even from your logotypes which you post on the back. You never know.
I know. So yeah, that's a tricky question, because on one hand, it's like, yeah, there's definitely going to be like copyright mess. I mean, it is already, and like it does feel unfair, like that your work is being used for the algorithms. But then at the same time, like if you go to Pinterest, for example, there is just so much work and like everybody copies each other and tries their ideas, and designers merge ideas all the time. So I don't really know how to feel about this. I feel like if I would be the only designer in the world and I would notice AI clearly using my work, like that's so unique and so original, but the AI used it. I don't know if that would feel bad for me, because like if my work is so good and so popular, if I'm significant enough to be like part of the industry, be recognized by it, would it feel wrong? I'm not really sure.
Yes.
Like, if like AI, for example, it can generate like pictures, images from like famous painters, for example. I mean, there's a little bit different copyright with that, but still, like, they made work that's significant enough for people to reference it. So it kind of almost makes sense, because what do we reference then? It's art.
I really like that you said basically that you touched the topic that AI can create the artworks from other artists. Basically, my question: there is an AI. I used it myself. I tried it. The idea of AI is that you can upload 10 different pictures to give an inspiration to AI, to not just ask him, create a logotype for my business. You can upload 10 pictures and say, create logotype for my business in this style.
Yeah.
So that means that I can take 10 logotypes, which you did before, upload to this AI and ask him to create logotype. He will do the logotype with the same kind of vision which you have, because he's going to use your assets. So is that fair? Not really. Nah, I mean, like...
Yes, but at the same time, I feel like you can often tell when the design is templated, or like when it's made by AI, like you can tell that it's not quite perfect, or there's like a lack of human input.
Okay.
That's what I think, at least. And also I feel like there is barely anything like, you're not creating the bicycle all the time when you design, right? Like all these things have been created before by somebody else. Like I wouldn't feel like it's such a big deal, I feel like, because if you're the client and you want the specific logotype from me, you want my thinking, you want my approach, my strategy, you would go to me. But if you want to have some like easy option, okay, that's fair enough, but it's kind of on you. I feel like if you're okay with using AI and just for it to create whatever, fine.
I really like how you stay on defense of graphic designers. I mean, you defend them a lot, and I mean that makes sense. But yeah, I'm walking around one question which I really want to ask, and I'm not gonna even rephrase it. I'm just gonna read it as it's written here, because this question, I would say, is the main, very straight. Will AI eventually replace human graphic designers or not?
It might do. I'm not gonna say no, because
let's remember that we are at the beginning of AI, when AI is like taking that huge part in our life, and the results are insane. So if we take 5 years, because AI learning much faster than like designers.
I don't think it's gonna replace in 5 years. Not, definitely not. Oh, it's my opinion. Okay, you can argue with me, but I don't think it's gonna.
I'm not gonna just your opinion. Like I just want to know your opinion.
I don't think it's gonna replace in 5 years. Maybe later, and like I said, in like 20, okay, maybe 15 years, maybe, but not right now, because I think there's still this trend about like human interaction going on. Like I know there's a trend in AI, but also in human interaction, especially post-COVID. Even like you might think, oh, like designers right now, they can work like from anywhere in the world. They can literally like work with Google and live in, I don't know, Riga or somewhere else.
Yeah.
Which is it's true, kind of, but if you try, then most of the companies will more or likely prefer you to come to the office physically, and they will prefer you to be in that exact country where the company is based. So
But you don't like that idea. You prefer to work like as a freelance and remotely, right?
Yeah, I would like more like high quality opportunities, like remote high quality opportunities, basically. But what I'm trying to say with that is that there is a trend that I'm seeing at the moment with like more human interactions, and people prefer to talk to real humans and get like results from real humans, because that's kind of also more quality proof results, because you know that there is actually been a human who's thinking. You can call them all, or you can ask them like what was their process, what did they think. And I think AI is a little bit less trustworthy with this if you want high quality results. So I think, yes, to answer your question shortly, I think yes, AI can replace human designers, but not in 5 years. It needs more time.
Okay.
There needs to be more things that will change, like in the world. For example, even like if you take brands, like if you want to create a new brand, there always needs to be someone who like oversees the whole brand and thinks about the strategy and the ideas behind it and all that stuff. So there needs to be a human. But then it's like you cannot replace because graphic design is also a very vast industry. Like it's not just, like brand design, create logo, create this. There's also like UI, UX, there is illustration, there is like campaigns, more like photography or art direction. So replacing all of that with AI, I just cannot see how this is going to be done in 5 years.